Hello my beautiful people of Age of Empires Mobile. My name is Timmy and I welcome you to an episode which has a pretty challenging topic, as I claim to find a couple of super awesome arguments to back up this theory that heroes exclusively only with strategy are literally useless. And why is this topic super hot? Yeah, obviously you guessed it. We have a couple of new heroes like this guy over here, which I won't even bother to understand how to pronounce his name. I'm just gonna simply call him Charlie. And by far, the hero everybody's super hyped about is actually Ramses. And from which perspective am I giving you these arguments? Well, let's go for a second to the expeditions, because you have to excuse me, my marches are out there farming due to MGE. And when you have a look at my account, you're gonna see something like this. For the cavalry, all three heroes 5 stars. For the archers, all three heroes 5 stars. For the swordsmen, I have Yodit and Minamoto at 5 stars, and Tribuana only 3 stars, and these are my pikemen. And the first question which comes now to your mind immediately is, Timmy, which players in God's name are you addressing this episode to? Or for which players will this argument gonna be valid? And I'm gonna shock you by telling you this video is addressing all players in Age of Empires Mobile, and yes, we are including the free-to-play players all the way up to the super whales, as the reason cannot be more simpler than if an account like this found the arguments to claim such a theory that heroes exclusively only with strategy, the lesser money you can afford to spend in Age of Empires Mobile all the way to the free-to-play, well, these same arguments will gonna have an exponentially higher value than the value which they have for this account already. So let's start with the first argument, because there are a lot of content creators out there, among them obviously Sigarm and Sneaky, super awesome guys, and I obviously watch all their videos. But videos like, for example, what's the best setup possible for the archers? What are the best rings? What are the best gems? While those videos are entirely correct, there's a key element which is actually missing, and you are noticing this once you're zooming out to see your entire account. So what do I mean by that? Because if you have a look at my archer setup, and obviously first the rings, first you're gonna say, where is your radiant ring? Well, if we zoom out, we're actually gonna start with the priorities of your marches in Age of Empires Mobile, because guess what? The ring won't leave Lubu anytime soon. This is the priority of the marches for every single player out there, starting from free to play all the way up to the high spenders. And the first priority is actually the Lubu March. Now the other two heroes, first of all, please excuse the skills which you're seeing in here, as I was in the middle of testing something. But the point here is Lubu as commander and 2 more heroes. Now you can use Guan Yu with Attila. You can use it like this. You can use Guan Yu with Rani. It doesn't change the 2 very important facts. Number 1 being a march for cavalry with Lubu has the maximum priority for every single player out there. And the fact number 2, please take in consideration that all 3 heroes are might-based heroes. The second priority in Age of Empires Mobile will actually going to be the archers. And we are still including the free-to-play players in here, especially if they are playing for a while. I'm not entirely sure if you as a free-to-play player are able to unlock Mulan without putting those $2 down, but it doesn't matter. You can take Bellevue, which was obtainable from the wheel. You can get Mehmed II, which is also obtainable from the wheel, and you can use in here Rani, Attila, whatever. You have plenty of alternatives, which again doesn't change the 2 important facts. Fact number 1, the archers right now are your second most important priority in Age of Empires Mobile. And the fact number 2, again, all 3 heroes are hero based on might. So at this point, you probably are expecting me to show you the third march. Well, we're gonna have to zoom out first, but not all the way here. Let's zoom out a little more. Because It doesn't simply matter if you're a free-to-play player or the highest spender out there. Fact is that in Age of Empires Mobile we have two very important events. One is the Wonder Contest and the other one is the Battle of the Dawn, in which you can break up to maximum 2 marches in these events. That's why it doesn't simply matter if you are free-to-play or super high spenders. The priority of these 2 marches doesn't change. Well, now I am ready to go with you to the march having the 3rd highest priority in Age of Empires Mobile, and probably you guessed it. Well, these are the Swordsmen. Now, I'm not entirely sure if as a free-to-play you are able to unlock Minamoto, but you can indeed unlock for free Yodit and Tribiwana, and it also doesn't simply matter how you want to use these heroes, in which order exactly, or if you want to take Minamoto out and put Constantine in there. It doesn't simply matter or changes these 2 priority facts. Fact number 1, the Swordsman should be your 3rd highest priority in Age of Empires Mobile, while the second factor is actually, again, more important because all 3 heroes will gonna be might-based heroes. But let's go to the march number 4, which are for the Pikemans. And again, with the small exception of Octavian, which indeed has a skill which benefits from strategy, as you can see it here, the rest of the heroes are might-based heroes. And again, the 2 important facts. Number 1, the Pikemans as it is right now, with the heroes which we have right now, should be your 4th priority to build in Age of Empires Mobile, while the second fact is that all heroes are might-based heroes. But before we move on to an argument which is even more stronger than this, I would like to address the following 2 things. I won't address a setup for the 5th march, because you obviously can play up to 5 marches on the battlefield, because I can also give you arguments why you can be extremely efficient and successful by using just 2 marches, or by using just 4 marches. You don't have to use 5 of them. Good. Now to this next super strong argument, which you probably guys should know it by now if you watched the previous video, and it has something to do with the castle facility. So why is that the case? Because now you see where I am with might having 5 out of 10, but I actually skipped the strategy to go for the armor. Now obviously I will gonna have to bring this to level 5, because these are the requirements to unlock the Hall of Mastery, and obviously I have to do this too in order to unlock the researches. But up that point, and not taking in consideration that obviously the Citadel renovation will have to be brought to level 5, and after that obviously I would like to unlock the last mercenary for the Pikemans. After that I will gonna have plenty of far better alternatives than to come back here and get the strategy from 5 all the way up to level 10. But I'm not done yet, because I'm gonna present you now an argument which actually it's even stronger than that, and it has something to do with the moment in which you are able to unlock those new researches, because it's not that simple by just claiming, well, at that moment it's all about speed ups and it's all about the resources, and you're gonna have this added in here. Because if we have a look just at the renovation from level 2 to level 3, what you're seeing here are 96 days, which is a lot. Because if we would take now an example of the researches, but the old ones, because I'm too lazy to put one of the screenshots from Blanche here on the screen. The third one is gonna be in here, but it's gonna be similar exactly to the old researching, meaning in other words, the best approach possible is to fulfill the minimum requirements in order to reach as fast as possible the last nodes in the research, and after that you will go back. What am I trying to tell you with this? Because, for example, let's assume this is the new research tree and I would like to unlock the new node. You're gonna see the requirements that all 3 before that should be level 3. Because you're gonna have in here, for example, might 3 out of 5, which definitely I'm gonna do. But you're also gonna have, for example, strategy 3 out of 5, which I also must do in order to proceed. But once I'm done, I definitely will gonna keep nodes like this in which strategy is required at the minimum required level, which will gonna be 3 out of 5. Now, if you thought I'm done, well, there is one more thing which I would like to add also as an argument. And I don't know if you guys watched the entire stream from Mr. Sneaky, because he was doing some tests with different setups. And while the match used on the left side with Ramses and the guy which I would like to call Charlie and Theodora came kind of close to this might setup, even if Ramses' setup would have performed all the way up to maximum 50% higher performance than the might setup. Even with that taken in consideration, I would not use Ramses. And this is by far, I think, the strongest argument, because you already have a couple of heroes for your archers, probably including Mulan, Bellevue, super awesome. And in order for you to get Ramses set up, not just only that you have to use the Mightiest Governor event, you literally need to build 3 heroes from scratch. And from my perspective, I must see a performance increase of minimum 70-80% to start to build this strategy-based setup. It doesn't matter if that is for archers or for swordsmen. Because the point I'm making in this episode, it doesn't simply matter if you are free to play or a super high spender. Obviously, the lesser you are spending in Age of Empires, these arguments will gonna get an exponentially higher value, because items like this, Universal Hero Medals, or Legendary Skill Scrolls, or we can even add the XP in here, have the highest value possible once they are exactly where you see them right now in your inventory. Because yes, indeed, we have a hero reset coming a few times per year, maybe 2, maybe 3 times, but the fact is the hero reset is not always available when you realize you have done a mistake and you want to quickly change that. So beautiful people, now it's exactly the point in which I'm going to invite you, hopefully taking in consideration these very strong arguments, to have a discussion with me in the comments. And the last thing which is missing obviously from the episode is to say, if you truly want to encourage me to carry on to do more videos with a far deeper analysis from a perspective which is far more zoomed out, taking in consideration your entire account, not just a single match, well, you don't need any money for that, because the best way to do so is actually to subscribe to this channel. Obviously, you can share this channel with your friends, even if they do not play Age of Empires, but they are looking for a game similar to this. This is a very strong alternative. Beautiful people, thank you very much for watching, and I will gonna catch you in the next awesome episode. And boy, do I have a surprise March comparison coming, hopefully up tomorrow. Ciao, ciao, ciao.